vegetable beef. Soup Exchange Restaurants. Locations including Woodland Hills, Fullerton, and Tarzana.
The custom decorator bedroom. It doesn't have to cost a fortune, and it shouldn't take forever. This decorator bedroom comes complete with coordinating towel ensembles from Stroud's. It's the total look by Crosil, with new embellished towels by Avanti. Save up to 64% on the entire collection. Sheet sets from $31.99. Comforters from $55.99. Avanti bath towels now $13.59. The Crosil sale, only at Stroud's. The best money can buy for a lot less money.
Rent-A-Center is the one store that has it all for you. Get everything for your home the easy way, with no credit check, no long-term obligation, and immediate fast delivery. Choose from famous brands like Zenith, RCA, Whirlpool, Sears Kenmore, Fisher, Sony, and JVC. Now a 19-inch color E plus VCR just $15.99, or a 25-inch color remote console plus VCR only $19.99. And no credit hassles. West 605-800-540-1010, East 605-800-572-1111.
If your family likes beef roast, this is for you. Alpha Beta has beef roast at half price. Right now, delicious boneless rump roast is just $1.49 a pound, and so is bottom round. Now, Alpha Beta's half-price beef roast sale lasts only through Saturday, just time enough to pick up juicy buys like succulent eye round, only $2.29 a pound. So come on in now. I mean, how often do you find beef at half price?
The pictures of the two men you're about to see are wanted by the police. Richard J. Church, also known as Ronnie Quinlan, 20 years old, 6 feet, 175 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. He is wanted on 2 charges of murder. He bloodied parents to death, and charges of attempted murder. Call this number, 1-800, if you know who he is, if you've seen him, 432-2313, 1-800-432-2313, with any information at all. Also wanted for attempted murder is this man, Robert Stewart. He's 5'9", weighs about 200 pounds, being sought for attempted first-degree murder for stabbing a man just last month 21 times, stabbing David 21 times. He has the stab wounds to show still today. Call your local police department if you have any information. Thank you very much if you know Robin Stewart. I'm glad you all could come on and tell your stories. I'm sorry they had to be these stories that you had to tell. Thank you.
Hi, this is Steve Edwards.
And I'm Tawny Little.
The delicate subject of how to teach your kids about sex.
Monday at 9 on AMLA.
Guests of the show fly American Airlines, the official airline of the Oprah Winfrey Show. Fly American to over 245 destinations worldwide. American Airlines, something special in the air.
Good afternoon, I'm Harold Green.
And I'm Marianne Bannister, and this is Eyewitness News.
Here's the latest at 4 o'clock on this Friday. You can call this Friday the 13th Black Friday on Wall Street as stock prices stage their most spectacular tumble since the October 1987 crash. Word that the United Airlines buyout plan had collapsed and worries about inflation triggered frantic selling on the stock exchange, and when the closing bell sounded, Dow Jones Industrials were off 190.58. The Dow experienced its biggest drop since it fell over 500 points on October 19th of 1987. Transportations, utilities, and the composite index also stumbled, but bond prices rose dramatically as investors tried to find a safe place for their money.
What did it? The announcement, what happened?
No comment. The major institutions really didn't participate that much. I think it was the situations that are involved with junk money. And the junk bond money situations, the Holiday Inns, the Hilton Hotels, UAL, American Airlines, all these big stocks that are involved with financing and borrowing money, that's where the real damage occurred.
How do you feel about it?
A little scared right now, but we've been through this before. Hope I don't go through it again.
So they threw everything out today, but nobody knows what happened on Monday.
Later on Eyewitness News, we'll have more on Wall Street, including reaction from analysts and brokers right here in Southern California. Marianne.
15 people are by toxic fumes today at a loading dock near Los Angeles International Airport. Our John North has that story.
At least 15 people were examined by paramedics at the scene, and 8 employees of Radix Incorporated were taken to hospitals complaining about eye irritations, nausea, or dizziness. Some 100 employees evacuated when workers opened a huge container with 15 55-gallon drums of ethyl mercaptan, a flammable and potentially lethal chemical. The employees say fumes spread throughout the plant.
We deal with a lot of different chemicals, and everybody takes as much precaution as possible, but sometimes things do happen where there are leaks or it's not properly packaged.
A large leak could send lethal fumes throughout the area adjacent to Los Angeles International Airport. It's gotten to the point that Los Angeles Fire responds to at least one significant hazardous materials incident a week. The dangers of disaster are so great that no precautions are overlooked. Melinda says she was in the back of the plant near the warehouse when the fumes reached her co-workers.
Well, some of them smelled the fumes and they got really direct contact with it. As for me, I didn't smell it, but I just feel a little bad now, but I didn't actually smell the fumes.
After using fans to air out the building, the hazardous material teams put on their now familiar protective moon suits to check out the chemical drums for spills or leaks. Their instruments found no evidence of any leak or flammable chemicals, but as a precaution, they resealed all the drums. Fire Chief Robert Olson speculates that a small quantity of mercaptan might have spilled when the container was loaded. Near the airport in Los Angeles, John North, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
In Orange County, flocks of expensive, colorful birds are making themselves at home these days. Hundreds of the feathered creatures, blue and gold macaws, cockatiels, and parakeets live in the wild. The mystery is that no one seems to know where they all came from.
My guess would be the majority of the birds are birds that have escaped from their owners because their wings haven't been cut and they became flyable and have grouped together in a big flock, and they are now reproducing.
Well, the birds are obviously happy snacking off of the fruit trees with no real predators. And since no one is complaining, animal control officers don't plan any action. Good for them.
Good for them. Well, time now to take a first look at some of the other stories making news on this Friday. A computer virus that was scheduled to strike computers today on Friday the 13th got an early start yesterday. This doctor's office in Burbank had its patient billing records erased. Experts say the virus is spread to computers over the phone lines through infected disk or contaminated programs. In England, the Royal National Institution for the Blind reported a computer malfunction caused by a virus. Another 50 unconfirmed reports of the virus have been reported around the world.
Federal investigators have arrested 3 men in San Francisco for allegedly smuggling and distributing anabolic steroids in the United States. Investigators say the drugs were being used and distributed primarily through health clubs, but they were also making their way into high schools, where it's estimated that 10 to 15% of the team members were using them. The crackdown was the result of a 3-month investigation in which officers bought $34,000 worth of steroids in the Bay Area.
About 100 opponents of the death penalty staged a rally outside the state capitol today before beginning a 120-mile trek to San Quentin prison. The coalition of religious and other groups hope their march will help save the lives of 265 convicts now on death row. No one has been executed in California in 22 years, but death penalty opponents say that could change as early as next year. Robert Alton Harris, convicted of killing 2 teenagers in San Diego, could be the first to die.
There was a graduation in Nickerson Gardens today. These people just completed a 4-day seminar to learn tangible job skills. Following the ceremony, there was a job fair to allow these newly trained applicants to apply for jobs. The training and job fair was sponsored in part by the State Employment Development Department and Southwest College, and it's the brainchild of Assemblywoman Maxine Waters. For the participants in this program, well, this was an opportunity to take the first step towards a good job and a good future. Good luck.
Well, Harold, teachers in the city of Beverly Hills are threatening to go on strike over the primary issues of low pay and not enough. The district is hoping to keep the schools open with substitutes. But as Jean Gleason reports, some of those substitutes belong to the Los Angeles Teachers Union.
Beverly Hills has always been one of the richest school districts, if not the richest in California. Just a glance at the cars students drive and the towering office buildings that surround Beverly Hills High tell the story of immense wealth. But the district's 300 teachers here feel they're being left out.
They pay for everything else and then plan to give the teachers whatever's left over. And it's time to put the teachers first.
McIntyre says Beverly Hills educators were once the highest paid in the state, but they now make less than teachers in Los Angeles. Yesterday, they rejected a 5% one-year pay offer, and Monday, unless the district sweetens it, they say they will go on strike.
What they're paying their teachers just has not been commensurate with the job that the teachers have been doing.
Many students today were vocal in their support of teachers, but the district vows that it will keep schools open using substitutes. Indeed, a stream of substitutes has been applying for jobs at district headquarters, and some of them, it turns out, are unionized LA teachers.
I can't imagine that a teacher who has been a part of a strike and just won new rights and benefits for themselves would turn around and undermine other members of their profession like that. It's a real betrayal.
The teachers charge that the Beverly Hills district is fat with administrators and that Superintendent Robert French got a 25% pay raise after the first year on the job. French says the district has one of the lowest administrator-to-teacher ratios, and he only dreams of 25% pay raises.
My first year salary as superintendent here was $83,000. The next year was $92,300.
So it's not 25%.
My calculations don't add up to 25%. I'll save you the figures. It's 11.2. Okay. It was the first raise a superintendent in Beverly Hills had received in 4 years, by the way. We have enough money to pay the teachers a salary equal to what is being paid in Los Angeles with the 5% offer that's on the table. But we don't have any more.
Superintendent French insists that he shares his teachers' frustrations. He says he would repay them more than they're asking for. He says an adequate salary range would be from $35,000 for a beginning teacher all the way up to $70,000 for experienced teachers. But he says the district doesn't have the money, and to try to pay salaries with money the district doesn't have would be irresponsible administration. And so the stage is set for a strike on Monday morning. Gene Gleason, Channel 7 Eyewitness News, Beverly Hills.
How many times have you seen those bumper stickers that said, "I'd rather be flying, I'd rather be dancing"? I saw one today stuck in traffic and said, "I'd rather be someplace else." I think that expresses the sentiments of a lot of people right now out on the Southland freeways, Officer Jill.
Well, definitely the sentiments right now on the San Diego freeway. I don't know if it's Friday the 13th or what, but sort of a hex on the 405. Let's take a look at the southbound side near LAX. You can see the Century Boulevard off-ramp there. The right lane has been jammed all afternoon. It's all due to a chemical spill off the freeway, which is now history. But the damage done on the 405 still delays if you're heading towards the airport. Now over on the northbound side of the San Diego freeway approaching Santa Monica Boulevard, a collision. Our CHP helicopter overhead advising lumber in the roadway as well, so do watch your step there. Northbound on Interstate south of the San Bernardino freeway, an accident clearing on the right shoulder. In the San Fernando Valley, a crash on the Ventura freeway eastbound near Lost Hills. Looks like the two left lanes are still blocked. Over on the San Bernardino freeway eastbound at Soto Street, an injury crash, and that's causing quite a backup into the downtown Los Angeles area, moving down to Orange County now. On the eastbound side or the northbound side of the San Diego freeway at the 55, a collision reported in the fast lane, and in the Santa Ana Canyon, still an accident eastbound 91 as you approach the Lakeview off-ramp. Slow and go all the way through that Santa Ana Canyon area. Harold, Marianne, back to you.
Okay, Jill, thanks. But when we come back, President Bush fires another verbal blast at Panama's General Noriega.
And still another engine part from the Sioux City crash has been found.
For the holidays, you want your home to look its best for family, friends, and old acquaintances. And new carpet from Carpeteria is the perfect place to start. Save up to 35% on DuPont's Stainmaster carpet. You'll find superb colors and styles for every decor, certified and warranted by DuPont. And at Carpeteria, there are no payments for at least 6 months. So brighten your home for years to come, and don't pay until the holidays have come and gone. No one covers the West like Carpeteria.
Subway bakes my bread up fresh, and that's my way. My way. I get a combo seafood club the best way, my way. Subway. They make my sub in front of me, just the way it ought to be. It's fresh, it's hot, I know I got it. My way, Subway, my way, Subway.
The 6-inch cold cut combo, only $1.69. Now that's my way.
In the heartland, we're working hard in the heartland, right in your backyard.
Stater Brothers has great values this week with fresh beef boneless chuck roast a low $1.47 a pound. Stater Brothers Tupper towels only 49 cents per roll, and extra fancy red delicious apples are everyone's favorite for 25 cents a pound.
In the
Starting Saturday, Channel 7's got the 1989 World Series and the best play-by-play coverage and series analysis. The San Francisco Giants slug it out with the Oakland A's. Catch all the games, highlights, interviews, and excitement of baseball's biggest event.
I'm his doctor. He's not feeling well. He's not feeling well. I'm his doctor.
Join Todd Donahoe, Jim Hill, Rick Lozano, and Steve Garvey. When it comes to sports, your winning team is right here on Channel 7, just where you'd expect them.
You landed in L.A., but your luggage is on its way to Rio. When you need a suit in a hurry, express tailoring, only at C&R.
Tomorrow, a major effort will be mounted to find more vital parts from the DC-10 engine that blew up, triggering the United crash in Sioux City. Yesterday, another missing piece of the fan disc turned up in a cornfield near Alta. On Tuesday, a major portion of the disc was found in another cornfield just about 10 miles away. Investigators say it had a crack in it, one that existed before the accident. The reason for that crack is unknown. Tomorrow, hundreds of volunteers with metal detectors will comb the fields of Alta, hoping to find another vital piece, a flange that bolts onto the fan disc.
President Bush today defended his position during the failed attempt to oust Panamanian strongman Noriega. The chief executive said the United States still wants Noriega out, but that the botched coup did not give the United States carte blanche to step in and aid the rebels militarily.
I've seen no fact that would make me change my view. And I've seen allegations that when I said I wanted Noriega to get out there, that implied use of force. I hope I would never be reckless enough as a commander-in-chief to make a blanket commitment to use of force if, without knowing the facts regarding some coup attempt.
The president also referred to critics of his policy as, in his words, instant hawks.
Radical South Korean students fought police and held anti-American rallies today in Seoul and 2 other cities. They invaded the U.S. Embassy residence in the capital, causing Ambassador Donald Gregg and his wife to leave their home. Neither was harmed. Before police and security guards could evict them, the students had smashed art objects in the patio and caused other property damage. The embassy building itself was not attacked. The students were protesting U.S. pressure on South Korea to lower trade barriers at next week's scheduled trip to Washington by President Roh. Ambassador was formerly the CIA station chief in Seoul, and the students were angered by his advancement to the diplomatic post. He later said the incident would not affect U.S. relations with South Korea.
One of Colombia's leading newspapers continued its crusade against drug barons today, despite more death threats against its employees. This morning's headline says everyone is awaiting the fate of the El Inspector, which the Colombian drug leaders want to put out of business. But even though 2 management employees of the newspaper were assassinated earlier this week, the newspaper's owners have vowed to keep on publishing. Yesterday, they got some help from the Colombian army in the fight against drug dealers. A raid on a farmhouse belonging to a major drug baron netted more than a half-ton of dynamite and an arsenal of atomic weapons.
Still ahead on this edition of Eyewitness News, restaurant critic Elmer Dills has an unusual treat in store as he takes us to a place called Little Prague.
Pam Thompson will introduce us to some of the future teen heartthrobs, yes indeed, on the final part of her special series.
But coming up on HealthCast, a report on how a growing number of senior citizens are getting into shape. It may surprise you.
There are lots of ways to ask a friend, look in the phone book, but what does that really tell you about them? At 1-800-DENTIST, we refer from a select group of dentists, and we have a full profile on each of them. Their education, how many years in practice, what special training they have. And with our dentists, you have the security of knowing that we refer thousands of patients to them every month. So if you need a dentist and you want to make an educated choice, call 1-800-DENTIST today.
In this fast-paced, competitive world, you need high energy to stay ahead of the game. That's why Carro's has redefined the all-American power breakfast. 2 eggs the way you like them, bacon and sausage, plus your choice of hotcakes, biscuits and gravy or French toast, served weekdays for only $2.99. So wake up to great values with Carro's Power Breakfast.
Come and see how Carro's cares for you.
It's the final days of Banner Carpet's annual fall sale with savings of 30 to 50%, including floor-tested Trevera. And Banner offers you this double guarantee. First, if you can find the same carpet for less, Banner will refund the difference plus 10%. And second, if you're not satisfied with your purchase after the carpet is installed, you have 15 days to come in and make a different choice at no charge. And that's only at Banner. Hurry, Banner Carpet's fall sale ends Monday, 9 p.m.
Home Depot announces the 60-second paint matching system. Just bring us a sample and we'll create a color to match it. We can match any tile, any fabric, any wallpaper, any flower, any shoe, anything. It's all done with our optical computer and Behr Premium Plus, the paint that's been specially formulated for computer color matching. Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Mary Ann has HealthCast for us right now, but let me clarify something. I think I inadvertently said during that drug raid at that Colombian kingpin's house yesterday that they had seized an arsenal of atomic weapons, and it was automatic weapons. Let me make sure that we have that clarified right now. Okay, now would you clarify HealthCast as you do flawlessly every day?
Well, thank you. I'll be glad to, Harold. The eating disorder bulimia has become a hazardous obsession for millions of Americans, mostly women. The illness is characterized by compulsive binges and purging, but now it's easier for doctors to monitor this destructive habit. A simple blood test allows doctors to confront eating disorder patients to see if they're following their treatment. It's estimated millions of young women in America binge on food, then purge it immediately from their bodies. Until a few months ago, photographer Tracy Turner was one of them.
All you can think about is food. People can talk to you, and all you can think about is what you're going to eat next.
Like many who have the disorder, Tracy wouldn't admit what she was doing.
People say, "Did you throw up?" And it's like, no, I didn't throw up. And you get mad, you know. You get mad, I guess, at yourself because you're lying, but you want everyone to believe that you're okay.
Doctors can check up on their patients by measuring a digestive enzyme found in the blood. The enzyme amylase is primarily to digest carbohydrates. Researchers found with binging and purging, it goes up significantly.
In almost every patient, we saw increases in the amylase from 2 to 4-fold from baseline. So it seems to be related to the behavior of binging and purging.
The results need to be confirmed by follow-up tests. Similar enzyme tests are commonly used among other addictive programs, including alcohol abuse, to confront patients who go back to old habits. They provide an objective picture of what the patient's doing.
Once they can admit the behavior, sometimes it's easier for them to engage in therapy.
Tracy says she doesn't resent being monitored. She wants help. During her last binge purge cycle, she found out how dangerous her disorder can be.
I was in and out of consciousness all day. My kidneys hurt. My heart was pounding. And it really scared me. And that's when I decided it's either, you know, life or death. There's no in between anymore. And I chose life.
It's estimated that more than 2 million Americans between the ages of 19 and 39 are suffering from bulimia. Do we really need all the x-rays we get at the dentist's office? A panel of experts know. In a report to the FDA, they say most adults need their mouths x-rayed only once every 2 or 3 years. For kids, every year or 2. They say a yearly examination should not automatically mean x-rays. And for a lot of people, pumping iron has always been the best way to keep physically fit. But typically, it was a sport for the young. Not anymore. Weight training is becoming popular for the 55 and up age group. Is it a good idea? No, it's a great idea, according to exercise physiologists who say you're never too old to start pumping iron.
Well, we haven't seen anybody yet. We have people in our facility as old as 76 years old that are lifting currently and have never lifted before in their lives and are having a wonderful time.
Specialists say weight training can be especially valuable to older people because it can rebuild muscles that have grown weak from inactivity. People like 57-year-old Emmett Brown say the resulting increase in strength can make everyday life easier.
I spent $40 or $50 on groceries. I carry them all in both hands. I never could do that before.
Also, there's evidence that people with strong muscles have fewer hip fractures, a common problem among older adults. Shirley LaBeach, who will only say she's over 55, says pumping iron is good for self-esteem. The weight training last year, she couldn't even lift 15 pounds.
Well, I'm bench pressing 89 pounds now. Ta-da! And I want to continue to go further.
Specialists recommend older people prepare for weightlifting with an aerobics program. When they've built up their strength, they should start their weight training slowly, learn their limits, and progress at a reasonable rate. But ask your doctor before beginning a program. That's important. You don't want to get in over your head, but isn't that inspirational? Boy, I'm ready to go get those pumping iron
This weekend, I might pick up a six-pack of soda. You know?
I got to work on it. A six-pack of soda. One in each arm. There you go.
You never know what'll happen in a couple of hours.
She's already got great biceps.
I got a ways to go there, I tell you.
Listen, we got a great weekend coming up here in Southern California. It's going to be a cool one. Also, we have a new tropical storm that will threaten the Louisiana coast. I'll tell you about that in the forecast in just a minute.
When Helen was brought into the ER, we didn't think she would make it. She was old, alone, and diabetic, and she had just been beaten within an inch of her life. There was nowhere else to go, no one else to help her, just us. This is the real-life nursing. The LA County USC Medical Center. There's no experience like it in the world. If you are a registered nurse, come to our open house October 14th. We need you. Helen needs you.
Ralph's has something that's going to change the way you shop. Price breakers. Dramatic price reductions that put 10 to 30% savings back in your pocket. Get price breaker savings on great tasting Hormel chili with beans and assorted varieties. A 15-ounce can is only 79 cents. And delicious assorted ragu spaghetti sauces in the 30-ounce jar are just $1.59 each. With savings like these, you'll want to stock up.
Myself right. Gonna give me some ribs at Tony Roma's tonight.
Hold on. Come in now and get our barbecue chicken and original baby back rib combo for the special low price of $9.95. All right, go ahead.
Tony Roma's gonna put a little meat on my bone.
Tony Roma's, with the ribs judged best in America.
Friends, the season is coming to an end. The 1989 car season, that is. So right now, your Volvo dealers are having their fantastic end-of-season dealing days. Come in, check the prices on our huge selection of reliable Volvos, spacious and luxurious wagons in the 240 and the classic 700 series. And Volvo sedans cost a lot less than you may think. So don't miss the end-of-season dealing days at your participating Volvo dealer. Hey, they got to find a place for the 1990s, so your timing couldn't be better.
So do we have hungry people here?
Yeah. Can I have the Aunt Jemima?
Oh, wait,
Chad, have some syrup, then pass it on to your brother.
Here.
Easy on the syrup.
No.
What?
Put lots of syrup on that, guys.
Why are you pushing the syrup here? Honey, last time I had something with half the calories didn't taste so great.
This stuff not only tastes great, there are no artificial sweeteners.
After breakfast, we all gonna look for the artificial sweeteners that was left out.
Yeah.
Does anybody know where they put the other half of the calories? The dog's eating it. The dog's eating it. This is delish. How about some more?
Recapping our top stories at this hour, the bears ran wild on Wall Street today as the bottom dropped out of the stock market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeted by 190 points this Friday the 13th. The selling wave made Wall Street's sharpest loss in 2 years when it plunged over 500 points on October 19th, 1987. Some steel drums filled with a toxic chemical began leaking today on a loading dock near LAX. 8 people were hospitalized after complaining of breathing problems. 7 others were treated at the scene. Fire crews and a hazardous materials unit stabilized the leaking drums. The chemical involved, ethyl mercaptan, can be deadly in high concentrations. You're up to date on this Friday.
Well, we made it through a week, a foggy week, survived to tell us about that, and now we're ready for the weekend.
It was better, too, today. It was not as bad. Listen, I want to share some photographs with you. Remember yesterday we were talking about the fog that we showed, and we had to actually go to Europe to get the photograph.
It was kind of weak. We didn't have our own fog.
Right. We wanted some fog right here, and we have it.
Ooh.
Look at this photograph that was sent in. This is Greg Himmelrich's mother, who's one of the technicians here, sent this photograph. This is from La Crescenta, guys. And looking down over the valley there, you can really see a beautiful... And we need to encourage our viewers to send in pictures. Some of our viewers get some of the best photographs of weather things.
Oh, look at that.
I put this in because today was kind of what I call a whiteout in Los Angeles. I mean, everything's kind of white everywhere. The pollution's kind of... This is up in the Owens Valley, and that is a beautiful cottonwood tree. This time of the year, right on through about the next 30 days, is lovely. Now, they're not as abundant as they are in Colorado, but if you drive up to the Owens Valley, you'll see some spectacular sights.
The aspen.
And the weather, the aspen, and that, as I mentioned, the cottonwood, but lovely places.
Stuff.
Really close, about 4 hours.
Well, I'm glad that we could get our own fog on the air.
Yeah, I'm glad
to go to Europe was a little
listen,
off-ball.
we're going to stay right
trip,
here at home right now. And from now on, all of our weather pictures will be local. See those palm trees? Those didn't come from Florida. No way. Right here in Los Angeles, high clouds right now, 74 degrees. Humidity is 60%. Our barometer is 29.97. Well, today's high temperature was only 75, and this morning's low was 61, but it was really kind of foggy this morning, and then it really never really cleared off. We had high clouds, low clouds, smog. It was not a real pretty day, but the weekend's going to be better, I promise you that. All right, take a look at this satellite view that we have for you. Here's the old low pressure we've been watching out over the ocean is finally beginning to kick in, and it brought those high clouds into Southern California, and you can see them kind of fanning out. There's not any rain with this right now, but it should cool us off as it pushes on through the area for tomorrow afternoon. The winds will kick up in the desert areas by late in the day. Now look at this. This is something, talking about winds going to be kicking up. Tropical Storm Jerry. Look at the convection. We have thunderstorms thing now. Winds are 70 miles an hour, just below hurricane force. Probably will come a hurricane moving north and may hit somewhere up in Bayou country down southwest of New Orleans on Sunday or Sunday night. We'll have to wait and see. That's a big storm, though. Increasing low clouds, 61. It's not as powerful, though, of course, as Hugo, unless it changes dramatically, and the atmospheric patterns do not show that at this time. It looks like it should be a small hurricane when it hits Louisiana by Sunday. More morning clouds on Sunday. Look at that. Partly cloudy and cool in the afternoon. It may not clear at all until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. This is a cool fall weekend coming up in Southern California.
Sounds pretty good
Yeah.
when you think
We like
of it, huh?
Have a nice
We've got
one.
that big Chrysalis run at Griffith Park tomorrow,
Yes.
the run and the walk. Johnny
Absolutely.
Mountain will have more
Johnny
on that
will
at
be
5 o'clock.
right on.
Okay,
All right,
thank you,
thanks,
partner.
Dal.
Well, if you're wondering what to do with those chicken and turkey leftovers, something you probably were just thinking about this moment, Mr. Food has just the recipe for us, perfect for the family on a cool autumn evening.
When we used to think of hash, we thought of leftovers, but it became such a favorite that we made it especially for itself. Well, either way, wouldn't it be nice to have a nice, light, easy way for chicken hash or a turkey hash? Thanksgiving isn't that far away. Well, like this. In a Dutch oven, we saute in a half stick of butter or margarine, 3 cups of diced onions until they're soft. Then we stir in 3 cups of green or red peppers, or both. Then we stir in 5 cups of diced cooked chicken or turkey, 4 or 5 cups of diced cooked potatoes, and a can of cream of celery soup. A little pepper, a little salt if we want, and when it's all heated through, we spoon it into a baking dish. Now, we brush it with a beaten egg, and then sprinkle on a little Parmesan. That's so that in 10 minutes in a 400-degree oven, the top is nice and gold. And in the true reason for hash, anything goes. Any brands are fine, any creamy soup is fine. I mean, if you've got a can of cream of chicken or mushroom on the shelf, use that first. No leftovers, use pre-cooked chicken or turkey from the market. And using a processor makes it a heck of a lot easier. And if you'd like the recipe, just send a self-addressed stamped envelope marked chicken or turkey hash, either one, to me, Mr. Food, right here at the station. And we'll get it back to you for having them all looking forward to your leftover turkey or chicken, or for making it on purpose, or for putting it in the freezer for later, or any time you want applause, or maybe just for some, ooh, it's so good.
Once again, if you would, in fact, like this recipe, all you have to do is send that stamped, self-addressed envelope to Mr. Food, and we've shortened it down to HASH, Box A, Hollywood 90027, Hollywood 90027, and be sure to specify which recipe you want, okay?
Kind of takes the glamour out of it when you just say hash. Hi, honey, it's hash
But
night.
you get them. We know what they mean, yeah. It's hash night, yeah.
When we come back, Officer Jill Angel with our Friday getaway traffic.
Liver and onions night, though. Controversy over making Watts a separate city is also coming up.
We're here at Track Auto to find out why people come here for all their automotive needs. Sir, what brings you here to Track?
Is this live? Well, how about selection? I mean, just look around you. And what about those low Track Auto prices? I mean, you know there's a 7-year, 70,000-mile auto parts warranty, huh? And how about the friendly and helpful employees? I mean, we've got caring, convenience, and price. Oh, my. If you need it, Track's got it. If Track doesn't sell it, you don't need it.
They've created a monster. Last week, we bought this great new VCR at Circuit City. They guarantee if we find a lower price within 30 days, they'll refund the difference plus 10%. I'm going to find a lower price.
Right, Harold.
I found it. Oh, it's a Circuit City sale.
Don't they pay anyway?
They pay anyway, even on their own sale. That's some guarantee.
Harold, you're brilliant.
Circuit City, the intelligent choice.
Comparing prices, some supermarkets say they're as low as Lucky if you use double coupons, if you pick special in-store promotions, and if you buy items from a short list price comparison. At Lucky, our price claim has been unconditional for more than 20 years. Overall, we have lower prices. And in comparison, price claims from those other markets are simply full of holes.
Del Taco presents a very tasty trick. You can turn an ordinary quarter into a big, juicy quarter-pound taco. All you have to do is buy a soft drink and presto! Your quarter becomes sizzling ground beef, crisp, leafy lettuce, 2 kinds of grated cheese, and fresh, ripe tomatoes, all in a crunchy corn tortilla. So make an appearance at Del Taco. Buy a soft drink and turn a quarter into a quarter-pound taco. But you better hurry before this offer disappears. Del Taco, the quarter-pound taco.
Dress up your home for the holidays with new carpet from Carpet. Save up to 35% on DuPont's Stainmaster carpet with no payments until next spring.
A campaign is now underway to improve the quality of education in Watts. Organizers of the drive say it would require voters to make Watts a separate city. But as Charmaine Wilkerson reports, some LA City leaders are doubtful the community could support itself.
City figures show the community of Watts has one of the highest school dropout rates in the LA Unified School District. That's one reason why Arthur Brooks and Jim Adams want to see a de-annexation of Watts, making it a separate city from LA.
We have our own city government, our own city councilman. We will have our own board of education. We will have our own police department, own fire department, and there'll be other jobs to be created because we have something to offer.
Brooks and Adams are among a handful of citizens organizing a community meeting tomorrow morning at Watts Towers on the possibility of de-annexation of Watts. They say a more localized government would mean more attention and more money for Watts. If the people pushing for a city of Watts were to have their way, this would be the northernmost border of the new city. It would stretch from Slauson, south to Imperial, east to Alameda, and west to Vermont. LA City Council members representing the area say they too want to see less crime, more jobs, and greater academic achievement in Watts. But they don't believe the area could generate enough business income on its own to greatly improve city services.
There is not at the present time a lot of industry to support a city government, particularly when you talk about the number of public housing projects that are very expensive to maintain.
I think it would be very, very hard for a new community to establish itself in a part of the city that is perceived as disadvantaged.
De-annexation would require approval from voters throughout the city of Los Angeles. But before supporters officially submit the idea to city officials, they want to see if their plan has enough support community-wide. The turnout at tomorrow's meeting could either encourage or discourage the dream for a city of Watts. Charmaine Wilkerson, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
The LA City Council today agreed to give the Union Rescue Mission downtown $6.5 million to move to a new downtown location. In return, the mission agrees to double the number of beds from 300 to 600 when it moves from Main Street to a property at 5th and San Pedro. Critics called it an attempt to get the homeless out of a planned Main Street development area, but supporters said the mission's work is invaluable.
Figure out for yourself what we're saving. I can't understand how people who are concerned, as this council is, about providing facilities for the homeless could not agree that this is a good opportunity for the city to upgrade facilities, upgrade services, and make sure the money is challenged to those who need it most.
Where does the money come from? The $6.5 million will come from the Community Redevelopment Agency. That's where.
Paul Moyer now takes a look at what's coming your way.
Well, one of the things is a shocker, Marianne. Tonight at 5 o'clock, a cable TV talk show host is arrested for allegedly running a prostitution ring. A woman accused of kidnapping a newborn baby from his mother's hospital room goes to court. An Orange County vet talks about the mistake that killed 3 cats at his clinic. But there is a happy animal story, too, about some sick seals who have returned to the open sea. Plus, Gary Franklin with his weekend movie tips and a World Series preview live from Oakland tonight, right here at 5 o'clock when I join Ann Martin on a Friday. Hope to see you then. Meantime, here's Harold.
There was 6 Sick, silly sea seals. Was that right? Is that how that was?
Easy for you to say.
I'll watch it fine.
Easy for you to say.
All right, my friend. It is a Friday in Southern California, and that means a lot of traffic problems around the Southland freeways. And here's Officer Jill to bring us up to date. Jill?
Harold, Marianne, a very typical Friday out there. Not much relief at all. An accident just occurred in Hollywood. It's on the northbound side of the 101, right about Barham. The right lanes are blocked. Right now, we're looking at the San Diego freeway southbound at Wilshire. That's an injury accident. Officers now calling for paramedics, but everything's off to the right shoulder. Over to the 605 northbound Pomona freeway, an earlier accident in the final clearing stages. Still delays, though, for you in both directions there. Eastbound 118 at the San Diego freeway, an accident just reported. Now on the Harbor Freeway northbound approaching the Santa Monica freeway, we had a stalled car in traffic. Evidently, another vehicle just ran into it. It's now an accident blocking the right-hand lane, but the good news, no injuries there, just a lot of slow-and-go traffic. Down to Orange County now, northbound 405 past the Costa Mesa freeway, an injury accident, a tough drive as you leave the Baker Street off-ramp, and just in another crash on the Long Beach freeway northbound as you pass the Santa Ana freeway. Drive safely out there and do have a great weekend. Harold, Marianne?
You too, Jill. Thank you very much. All right, next up right here, the creator of a popular television cartoon show has died.
And Hollywood reporter Pam Thompson shows us some of the up-and-coming teen heartthrobs.
Public notice, 3-day furniture disposal open to the public. All brand new 3-piece living room and family room groups, modern and traditional, from $197 for all 3 pieces. Free layaway. 5-piece modular groups from $268. Free layaway this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at North American Warehouse in Gardena, on Rosecrans between Western Avenue and the Harbor, in North Hollywood, northwest corner of Sherman Way and Laurel Canyon, in Baldwin Park, at the Baldwin Park Boulevard off-ramp from I-10, in San Bernardino, exit Inland Center Drive from 215 freeway to South G Street. See Fridays or Sundays LA Times for details. North American Warehouse.
At Vons, when it comes to keeping up the store, we don't miss a beat. So you'll find everything as fresh at the end of the day as it was in the morning. Because after your long day, why face a store that looks like it's had a long day?
We had a numerically controlled drilling machine to produce holes. The machine itself was unable to countersink to depth. So we proceeded to engineer a unique depth-sensing device. The quality of the holes are much better with what we call a one-shot operation.
People with the power to do a better job build a better product. McDonnell Douglas, a company of leaders.
Traveling is great for people, but not for eggs. Did you know that some eggs have been trucked over 2,000 miles to California through places like this, through heat like this? Protect your family from 2,000-mile-old eggs. Look for the California Fresh Egg symbol on the carton. That's your guarantee your eggs are fresh. California Fresh from local California farms.
Ralph's is proud to carry California Fresh Eggs exclusively.
For a limited time, you can sink your teeth into Subway's 6-inch cold cut combo for just $169 at Subway. Now that's my way.
You might not know the name, but I'm sure you know the characters. Memorial services will be held Monday for Jay Ward, the creator of Uncle the Moose and Rocky the Squirrel. Some of television's best-loved cartoon characters were created by Ward: Boris and Nastasia, Dudley Do-Right, Snidely Whiplash, and George of the Jungle. And the animation was simple, but the dialogue was sophisticated, endearing the cartoons to young and old alike. Ward's career began when he collaborated on Crusader Rabbit. Ward died of kidney cancer last night at his Los Angeles home. He was 69.
Boy, what a loss on that. Will you ever wonder about the heartthrobs of tomorrow? Pam Thompson wonders out loud on Hollywood Tonight. She also tells us about a young comedian who was busted, an older comedian supporting an even older comedian. She got not confused yet, in a very special theater arts festival. Pam?
I'll try to straighten that out. Thanks, Marianne. No matter how popular a teen idol may be, he will be replaced when he becomes an adult. Young girls don't consider married men with 2 kids dream dates. So every few years, a new crop of teen heartthrobs come about. Tonight, we're going to meet some young actors who are ready to be the teen idols of tomorrow. They're barely leaders, and already they're starting to make young hearts do flip-flops.
Ooh, baby, 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 ooh, baby, baby.
Jeremy Miller has played Kirk Cameron's little brother on the TV series Growing Pains for the past 4 years. Now, 12 years old, Miller is starting to get fan mail of his own.
Not as much as Kirk. Kirk gets like 7,000 a week. I get maybe 400 a week. It's a nice even number.
13-year-old Danny Pintoro of Who's the Boss is also getting fan mail.
I get like from girls maybe 3 to 23, you know, a lot old and young, but I get a lot, you know, a couple hundred a week.
Fred Savage, another 13-year-old, stars on the TV series The Wonder Years. Adults may dismiss him as a cute little boy, but he's beginning to stir romantic thoughts in young girls. He's not sure what to think about that.
I don't really think about it too much. I mean, there's not really a reason to think about it too much. I mean, I don't know. I don't really think about it. It's just something it just happened.
It's easy to understand the attraction to these young guys considering the exposure they get on television. However, not all idols are TV veterans. 15-year-old actor Jay Ferguson has not been in any movies, and his first TV show is scheduled to premiere just this week. But already he's been on the cover of one of the teen magazines, and those in the know are predicting that he'll be one of the super heartthrobs. As soon as teen magazine editors saw publicity shots of Ferguson, they jumped.
Just one look at him and you can see that he's very attractive. He's got a great smile, and he's just real unassuming. He's just a kid, you know, and I think that's a big appeal for the other kids who are the fans, is just someone just like them.
Ferguson, who plays Ponyboy on the new TV series The Outsiders, thinks all of this attention is fun.
When I think about people saying that, it's like, it makes me feel good, but then it makes me, you know, kind of feel weird because they haven't even seen me act yet. They've just seen me, you know, but it's fine with me.
These young men are just starting to realize what comes with the honor of being a teen idol.
What happens is we're driving, all of a sudden this van of girls drives past us, and I'm out the window. All of a sudden I see they just kind of look over, and then all of a sudden double takes. Boom, boom. I'm like, hello. It's pretty funny.
Right now, it's all fun. What teenager wouldn't like lots of attention and adulation? But the guys who have passed this way before have some advice. Keep it all in perspective. Being a teen idol doesn't last forever. In other entertainment news, it was no joke early this morning when comedian Andrew Dice Clay was arrested for trespassing when he refused to leave the Ben Frank restaurant on Sunset Boulevard. The management wanted Clay out because they said he created a disturbance in the restaurant several years ago. The matter will be settled in court next month. Last month, MTV banned Clay from the network for using profanities during a live broadcast. Other comedians making news in a serious way. Woody Allen defended fellow comic Jackie Mason's controversial remarks about Jews voting for blacks out of guilt. Allen said Mason is a comedian. There's no malice or racism in his position at all. Allen supports New York's black mayoral candidate David Dinkins. Mason supports Dinkins' opponent. And this weekend, the 5th annual Theater Arts Festival for Youth, TAFFY for short, will take place at the Peter Strauss Ranch in Agora Hills. More than 30 groups will
Kiss a cow, kiss a cow, kiss a cow.
Wait, is that right? No, the other way.
More than 30 groups will perform at the two-day festival, including mimes, singers, clowns, storytellers, and dancers. There will be workshops in puppet making, poetry, and origami, and other creative diversions for children. And that's what's happening in Hollywood tonight.
Just for kids, though, huh?
Well,
Darn.
adults, I don't know. I saw the video. A lot of adults were there last year, so I think it should be a lot of fun for them.
Well, I might go. You never know.
That's right.
Okay, next up right here, senior reporter Doris Winkler reports on the problems faced by older people who have to make a major move.
A 15-round day, and you and your suit are looking a little out of shape. So you head to the nearest C&R store for executive club service. At no charge, your suit is pressed and your shoes are shined. For a limited time, everyone can join the C&R Executive Club, free.
No. Over 500,000 times tonight, we'll be delivering in 30 minutes or less. Sometimes we even arrive a little early. So tonight, call us, because nobody delivers better than Domino's Pizza.
Call Domino's Pizza today and get 2 medium original cheese pizzas for only $9.95. Toppings are slightly extra. This offer won't last, so call now.
At Lucky, wherever you look, you'll save. A few cents here, a few cents there, and even more with Key Buy savings like these. Your cat will thank you for assorted flavors of Fancy Feast gourmet cat food, Key Buy priced in the 3-ounce can. And Johnny Cat cat litter with 100% natural clay is now Key Buy priced for even greater savings. With lower prices overall every time you shop, you'll save more than just a drop in the bucket at Lucky.
When you buy Thrifty brand products as opposed to a national brand, you get the same good quality and you save a lot of money. Well, now during Thrifty's 50% off sale, you can save an incredible amount of money on some important Thrifty brand products. So now's the time to stock up. Look, 50% off on all Thrifty brand vitamins. Whatever vitamins are best for you and for everyone in your family, now's the time to get a lot of them at 50% off. And remember, if any Thrifty brand product isn't all you think it ought to be, we'll give you the national brand.
About 25 million people are terrified of flying, but a group of people have decided to confront their fear of flying head on.
Are you scared?
Yeah.
When's the last time you flew?
Last month.
Last month?
But it's an ordeal every time I fly. Graduates have learned not to panic.
I know from this class that I can deal with this right now.
Conquering the fear of flying on the next Oprah Winfrey Show. Touchdown! Get the answers Monday at 3, only on 7.
A California Freedom Caravan is gearing up to get rolling towards San Francisco this weekend. The bus will be carrying California Controller Gray Davis and representatives of a number of pro-choice groups. They're planning to reach the Bay Area Sunday. There, they'll take part in the March to Save Women's Lives, a large pro-choice demonstration. Davis says he believes it's important for pro-choice activists to demonstrate their concern to make sure women in California retain their right to get an abortion.
Planning for old age is very important, but some of the best-made plans simply don't always work out. As senior reporter Doris Winkler tells us tonight, having to relocate at an advanced age, most difficult changes to make.
More and more of us are moving from middle age to our senior years. We're living longer and becoming a generation in need of care.
The first decision was the hardest thing to make.
Pauline Clark's decision was to sell off 50 years of memories, family heirlooms, and furniture. She moved from Burbank, California, to this Seattle retirement community to be closer to her son. Pauline resisted giving up her home until her health began to deteriorate.
When I had this sudden surgery on my right eye, my son said, "Mom, you just don't realize what you do to me when these things happen, and I can't get there less than 4 or 5 hours."
More and more seniors are moving closer to their children, sometimes clear across the country. Often that can be a good thing for both of them, but sometimes it can be a burden.
Just lean up real straight here.
That's especially true when seniors become sick and need special care. 2 of the adult children are sandwiched between taking care of both their parents and their own children, and that creates a lot of stress.
Stress is from the standpoint of making sure the elderly person gets their medications, all the way to trying to provide them transportation to the hospital, help them with their usual activities of daily living, like bathing, dressing, these kind of things.
One solution is for seniors and their children to plan for old age. That includes making wills and talking about funeral plans.
And until families start to talk about that, it leaves adult children very much holding the bag.
Planning for old age, well, that's not always easy, but it is something we should all do before it's too late. I'm Doris Winkler with the Senior Report.
If you'd like a copy of today's report on moving, please send a stamped self-addressed envelope to Doris Winkler, Moving, KABC, Box A, Hollywood, 90027.
Are you hungry yet?
I'm getting there.
It's that time of day. Still, Elmer Dills takes us to a restaurant that features Czechoslovakian food.
Going on now at Harris & Frank, it's the anniversary sale. And there's reason to celebrate because you'll save 20 to 25% on our finest clothing for men and women. Save on men's suits, sport coats, slacks, shirts, and outerwear. And women will save 20 to 25% on suits, dresses, and separates. It's one of our most important savings events of the year. So don't miss the anniversary sale going on now at Harris & Frank.
Satisfaction. That's why every 8 seconds of every business day, another Big O tire is sold.
Dear Dad, I would like to express my thanks to you and your crew.
The helping hand you extended to us while we were in your town made us feel satisfied.
I know that when I come to Big O, the job will be done right the first time.
Big O is the one.
That's a great feeling.
Customer satisfaction second to none.
Hey guys, I got a chicken sandwich, Kentucky nuggets, and some original recipe chicken.
Where's yours? It's a 3-for-all at Kentucky Fried Chicken. What? 3 great deals, all with fries, just $1.99. Choose the Colonel's Chicken Sandwich, 6 Kentucky nuggets, or 2 pieces of original recipe chicken, all with fries, just $1.99.
There he is. Get him. Want my Kentucky nuggets.
Hey, you guys! What? 3-for-all at Kentucky Fried Chicken, just $1.99.
Hey, Vern, I've just got one word for you, Vernon. Cerritos Auto Square. Buddy, Cerritos Auto Square is closing out this year's inventory. We are talking big discounts on over 5,000 cars and trucks, and each of the 16 dealers is cutting his prices right to the bone. So now's the time, Vern, to catch these boys with their prices down. Look, I have stupid written all over my face. Vern, my hand.
605 Freeway at South Street in Cerritos.
You never know where you'll end up, but we guarantee you'll enjoy the ride. High on LA.
Elmer Dills joins us now, and he has a dining tip that features the zesty flavor of East European cuisine. He tells us it's at a very reasonable price to boot.
Sounds good.
And it's very different, too. You know, I only know of a couple of restaurants in Southern California serving the dishes of Czechoslovakia. One you saw a few months ago in this program. Tonight, the other Czech restaurant, every bit as good and definitely less expensive. I found this great little Czechoslovakian restaurant in Hollywood. It's on Hollywood Boulevard. Okay, Hollywood Boulevard isn't exactly Rodeo Drive, but they don't have Rodeo Drive prices either. Let's take a look. Once inside, you'll find a small but comfortable restaurant. Okay, nothing fancy, but you're not paying for the decor or high rent here, just for quality food. Service is friendly and relaxed. It's popular with the local Czech, German, and Austrian community, and those looking for something other than prime rib or designer pizzas and pastas. No food trendies here. It's also inexpensive. Only one dish on the menu over $10, which puts it into the bargain category. That's the way owner-chef Matka Prudel wants to keep it. For your first visit, my recommendation, the roast duck. A whole half duck, oven roasted, basted in its own juices. It's just plain great. It's served with Chef Matka's own homemade sauerkraut, plus her made-from-scratch potato or bread dumplings. These dumplings, and you can have as many as you want. But there's more to the Old Prague restaurant than just duck. Try this Wiener Schnitzel that comes from the pan to your table in just seconds. One of the better schnitzels in town, and only $9.95. How about rabbit with red cabbage with a garlic sauce on top? Again, how about under $10? Another favorite of mine, roast pork baked in its own juices with caraway seed sauerkraut and those great dumplings, $9.95. There's a sour broth that's been marinated for 2 days. Comes with a creamy sweet and sour sauce. And these are just some of the many interesting dishes served here. Naturally, Matka bakes her own apple strudel. She also makes plum or strawberry crepes. 2 very authentic Czech dishes. With these dishes, what else would you drink but Pilsner Urquell beer from Pilsen in Czechoslovakia? Wine and soft drinks also available. Come Friday or Saturday, there's a live entertainment program. Mark Nelson and his crew take you back to the days of old-time radio.
I bring the old man alone. You get me?
And so the 2 men waited in the gathering darkness outside.
It's a fun program. The guests enjoyed it. I suspect you will, too. Plus those delicious Czech dishes at very modest prices. Lunch and dinner daily, major credit cards, casual dress. They do not have a no smoking area. The access for the handicapped is limited. The Prague restaurant is at 5626 Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. Phone 213-462-4466. My rating for the food, the service, the prices, the whole package, 8 out of a possible 10.
Saturday night by the Prague restaurant in the entertainment capital of the world, Hollywood, USA. I'm your host, Mark Nelson, inviting you to join me.
Well, what was that? It's Friday. It's Friday. It's okay. Next week on the 4 o'clock news, a very unusual Sunday brunch experience, especially if you like the wild blue yonder. Join me tomorrow morning on the Ken and Bob program, Sunday 4 to 8 for my Good Life Report, both on KABC Talk Radio 790 on your AM dial.
Somebody was doing an audition there.
I think so. I think so. Anybody you know? No.
I never saw him before.
A good weekend, Elmer. That does it for us at 4 o'clock on Friday the 13th. We've survived, huh?
Yes, we
It's a
have.
good sign for what's yet to come. The news continues now with Paul and Ann.
Well, Marianne, you said it. It is Friday, the 13th. It proved to be very unlucky on Wall Street today. The stocks took their second biggest one-day plunge in history. And reports from around the world of computers being infected by that virus.
It was a tragic mistake that has proven heartbreaking for some pet owners. An Orange County vet talks about the mix-up that led to the deaths of 3 cats. And the host of a TV talk show is accused of running a prostitution ring.
Next on Eyewitness News, #1 in Southern California.
The Fall Shopper Circular from True Value Hardware Stores is loaded with spectacular values. Tackle leaf cleanups with the TrueFlex 22-tine lawn rake by True Temper, just $3.49. Put leaves and trash in sturdy cordite trash bags with drawstring tops, just $8.47 a box. And get the Keller 22-inch wood step stool with side spreader locks and grooved steps. It's just $5.77 in the Fall Shopper Circular from participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers.
At Lucky, wherever you look, you'll save. A few cents here, a few cents there. And even more with Key Buy savings like these. Satisfy your sweet tooth with sweet savings on Oreo cookies, regular or double stuffed in a 20-ounce package. And start the day right with Key Buy Price Taster's Choice Freeze-Dry Instant or Marigore Dark Roast Coffee. With lower prices overall every time you shop, you'll save more than just a drop in the bucket at Lucky.
Sausages. Dogs in search of the ideal snack. Sausages. What is that special treat? Sausages. We know they love a snacky poo. We know they love variety too. Sausages. What to do? Sausages. 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 That's it! More flavors! Liver and bacon. Beef and cheese. And? Beef. Kettle-raised sausages. Scrumptious sausage-style snacks in 3 flavors. For dogs.
Popeyes has you lined up with 9 to go. That's 9 big, tasty pieces of Popeyes chicken for only $6.99. You'll love that chicken from Popeyes.
#1 in Southern California. Channel 7, KABC TV, Los Angeles. Now, the Southland's leading news, Eyewitness News, at 5.
Well, it wasn't a crash, but a very bad fall on this Friday the 13th. Good evening, everybody. It is now 5 o'clock. At this hour, those who take stock in what's happening on Wall Street are in a state of shock tonight after the most disastrous trading session in 2 years finally came to an end. When the bell sounded on the exchange, the Dow Jones Industrials had staged their most spectacular drop since October of '87, closing off nearly 191 points. Frantic buying, touched off by the collapse of United Airlines' buyout plan, and increasing inflation also caused transportations and utilities to stumble, and bond prices soared as investors decided they were the only safe place for their money. It was the second largest plunge for the Dow in history, and shell-shocked investors and brokers left the stock exchange today hoping that this Friday fall won't be followed by a Monday crash, as it was 2 years ago in October of 1987. That was called Black Monday.
A lot of nervous money. A lot of nervous money. A lot of people are betting on situations where there's a lot of debt involved. It's not, but they throw the baby out with the wash today.
A little scared right now, but we've been through this before. Hope I don't go through it again.
So they threw everything out today, but nobody knows what happened on Monday.
Previous drop on the street this year came in March 17th. That's when the Dow fell about 48 points. But today, a lot more than that. Ann?
Yes, it was. And what happens Monday is what everybody's wondering now. Top financial analysts here in Southern California say what happens Monday on Wall Street will depend largely on the Japanese and European markets and how they react to today's collapse in New York. Investment analyst Jay Goldinger told our Laura Diaz the events of October 1987 don't have to be repeated, but could be if fear takes over.
Much like 1987, the script will be written Sunday night. 2 years ago, October 16th, a Friday, we fell dramatically. But that Sunday night, when Japan opened, and the Japanese Dow fell, and then the German index fell, and the English, by the time we opened on Monday, we had to fall 500 points. So we're only about 20% of the way there. As long as the European and Japanese markets on Sunday night don't fall like we did today and continue this crash, we'll be all right. But the script will be written for Monday at about 11 o'clock Sunday night when Japan closes and the European markets open.
Goldinger said he would not be surprised if the financial leaders of the United States and Japan get together this weekend to try to head off another Black Monday. Well, it is Friday the 13th, and for the superstitious, that's a bad luck day. For computer owners this time around, it was an ominous day. This is the day that computer virus was supposed to attack. Joe McMahon has more on that story.
It's called Datacrime II, and it's a virus that has owners of IBM personal computers worried it might send their PCs to sickbeds. An electronic virus is information or instructions added on to a legitimate computer software program by hackers. Most commonly, the virus will wipe out instructions or information stored on that computer disk. We're told spreading the virus is easy. It happens when people share their computer programs, oftentimes over telephone lines.
So people who share programs either by illegal pirating or over a computer network will propagate the virus until somebody writes a program that seeks and destroys this virus.
Most likely, the IBM PCs were targeted for the virus by some unknown hacker or hackers because of their immense popularity. Some 30 million have been sold. Crime isn't the first computer virus to hit the world.
I have a few A's that are left.
Macintosh computers have also suffered from a virus. This one is called the NVIR. A newly installed Macintosh saw all the patient billing records erased yesterday at a Burbank doctor's office. Experts say the virus was spread to this computer over phone lines. So what happens now?
We are going to have to go back to June 27th when we went off of our other billing system, and we stockpile every patient. This is what we call a super bill when a patient walks in. We are going to have to go back from June 27th on to repost, to re-enter everything because it's totally lost. It's gone.
An unknown computer virus has struck in England at the Royal National Institute for the Blind. Here, blind and partially sighted people learn skills that will aid them in getting jobs in the computer field. But a virus attacks school computer programs that change ordinary size print into large size characters.
We've got people sitting around out there, letters and reports waiting to go out to get equipment for people, and we can't run anything. We're afraid to do anything with our machines throughout the Institute.
Some computer experts say all of this hype over the Friday the 13th virus attack is just that, hype. And judging from the small number of PCs that have succumbed to the virus, they're probably correct. Joe McMahon, Channel 7 Eyewitness News, Los Angeles.
In other news tonight, the woman in Sacramento who is accused of kidnapping a newborn baby from a hospital made her first appearance in court today. Bail for Deborah Marie Lucas was raised from $15,000 to $100,000. She told the judge she couldn't afford a lawyer, so a public defender was assigned to handle the case for her. She allegedly took the infant boy just hours after his birth. The baby was found at a Sacramento home last Wednesday. He was in good shape. Lucas now faces a maximum sentence of 16 years in prison if she is convicted of taking the boy. Sheriff's deputies in San Bernardino County tonight trying to solve the murder of a woman who was gunned down by a man lying in wait as she came back to her home near Victorville. More on that tonight from Bob Banfield.
Wednesday night, a 33-year-old woman was shot and killed as she and her boyfriend got out in front of the home they shared on Pyramid Drive in Spring Valley Lake near Victorville. Kathy Lynn Paternoster's two daughters, ages 3 and 5, were not injured. 40-year-old Carl First scuffled with and was wounded by the gunman who escaped. San Bernardino Sheriff's investigators are trying to determine a motive for the attack.
It's an exclusive community where that type of situation doesn't happen very often. And the second part of it, because of the line and wait factor, It obviously probably involves some type of money transaction or something like that. At least that's a guess at the early stages of the investigation.
Sergeant Brown indicated that the deceased had worked in an exercise studio, first until recently operated a gym, and is an exotic dancer whose troupe performed weekly in a Victorville nightclub. The victim's children